national government insists that the controversial housing levy, which will require every employed Kenyan to contribute 3% of their salary, will go ahead as proposed, despite strong resistance from a section of Kenyans. Speaking at State of Nairobi, the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Housing, Charles Hinge, vehemently defended the housing plan, saying it will provide the much-needed decent and affordable housing to the majority of urban dwellers, apart from creating a sizable number of jobs. And as reporter Henry Tende now files, the PS says the levy will be capped at 3% and will leave room for Kenyans who have not benefited from the program to get back their contributions after 7 years.
Once again, President William Ruto's administration has moved to defend the controversial housing levy, where employed Kenyans will be required to pay a mandatory 3% of their salary towards the affordable housing project. While addressing journalists at Statehouse, Nairobi, Housing Principal Secretary Charles Hinge says the government will forge ahead with the project despite strong opposition from a section of Kenyans.
How can you talk about sustainability unless it is just theoretical when you have got such high income inequalities and mushrooming slums in a country? How sustainable is that? You see, today, this country, we have got over 1,400 informal settlements in this country and growing. So how do you talk about sustainability? With that 2050 figure we are talking about, where 50% of our population will be living in our urban areas, where do you think they're going to live? The do-nothing strategy, which is what a lot of people are saying, government must not get involved. How is it going to prevent this country being one big informal settlement?
PS Hinge says the housing project is a well-thought-out initiative and was adopted after intense benchmarking from countries who have had similar programs rolled out.
Our solution is not a solution that is just crazy we thought about. We went to benchmark. We went to Singapore. We went to Mexico. We went to Brazil. We went to Nigeria. We went to China, many different places. And some of them we went to benchmark so that we know how not to do it. Because some of them, they have failed. What did they do? They said, let's save together. And that is a principle that most of us understand here because you belong to a chama somewhere or a sacco somewhere. So let's save together. And they did. And they told the employer, you save this, the employee will save that.
Employed Kenyans will have 3% of their salary deducted if the Finance Bill 2023 sails through Parliament as proposed. The funds going into funding one of President William Ruto's key campaign promises in the run-up to the 2022 presidential contest. PS Hinge says the funds will be capped at not more than 2,500 for every Kenyan.
Pays to you or confers you a direct right. It's a direct right to you. Why? Because you will either get an affordable unit, which is highly subsidized, or after 7 years, if you don't want it, we give you back your money plus your return.
Even as the government remains firm that there is no going back on the project, strong objection has emanated from different quarters. The opposition group Azimio has unequivocally said they will oppose the finance bill. Also concerned are the Kenya Federation of Employers, who say they will be forced to lay off employees if the bill is passed as it is. This amid outcry from Kenyans over the rising cost of living.
There are a number of proposed tax measures will have significant negative impact on taxpayers.
Will the government succeed with the project? Only time will tell. Henry Tende, Look Up TV.